Greetings, shooters and staff of the Blue Ridge Mountain 3 gun. This is Ken Nelson with Nifty Bytes, and this video will show you how to score a stage and a shooter using BRM3GScoring, which is the system that we're going to use to score the match. Now I'm showing you this on an iPad running as a simulated iPad on my Mac at the office. What you'll mainly be using at the match are iPod touches. It all looks and works the same, it's just slightly smaller on the iPod. Couple things on using these devices. It's a good idea to put them to sleep in between shooters and definitely in between stages. Up here on the upper part of it is a button. Push that, it goes to sleep. Push it again, it wakes it up. If you're using it and you find yourself with this kind of view of icons, then somehow you hit the home button. Happens, not a problem. Just find BRM3GScoring, click it, and you'll be right back where you were. Or alternately, double click the home button, find the list of active tasks, choose BRM3GScoring, and you're right back where you started. Okay, quick note about heat. iPods, iPads, iPhones do not like to be above 110 degrees internal temperature. I hope it's a nice cool day. If it's not, or even if it is, if it's sunny, keep these devices out of the sun. Put them on the shady side of the loading table or the whatever's at the stage. Put them under a shelter. If in doubt, put them in your pocket. That'll be cooler than laying in direct sun. If it does stop due to heat, it's not a problem. No data is ever lost. Just put it in a cool place, score on paper for a shooter or two, and it'll be back and running in no time. Alright, so a new squad walks up to your stage and you need to score. So you're going to hit enter scores. Say you're on stage 3. And I've only put in one squad just for test purposes. Do not worry. If you are showed in this squad and you're really in squad 18, don't worry. This is just for test. Alright, you'll see three things here. Squad 1, shooters with no squad, and all shooters. The ones we only really care about are squad 1 and all shooters, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So let's say squad 1 shows up, and you see squad 1 here. Here's the shooters. You do your walkthrough, you're ready to shoot. Jason Adams is the shooter. Okay, he starts off, and you're walking, scoring behind him. Now as you see these 1-point, 3-point hits down, just touch here and up it. Okay, if he hits a no-shoot, target not engaged, and then he gets a 100-yard miss, just keep tapping. When the RO calls the time, call it back to him and enter it, 2:35:32. If you make a mistake, 2:35.33, not a problem, just touch again. If you accidentally touch here, you don't have to re-enter the time, just touch somewhere else, and it'll be fine. Note that the 2:35:33 is your raw time. You've got all your penalties, and then the final score. Now, the usual process that's most accurate is to do it on the iPod and then copy it to paper. I'd encourage you to do that, or at least give it a shot. If your stage is super fast or the shooter is you're having trouble keeping up, then maybe go to paper and then copy to iPod. The key in both situations is to make sure the shooter looks at both and that they match. Okay, so let's assume that we've entered it into the iPod and we're going to hit the review button. Now this is all listed in score sheet order. So you just write down the raw time, come down here, write down the 1-point hits, 3-point hits, so forth on the score sheet, write in the total time, and have the shooter verify this page against the paper, have him ink the paper, sign the paper, and then you're good to go. If there's a mistake, go on back to Jason Adams' score sheet, fix up what you need, review it again, and I recommend reviewing it entirely, and then when everybody's happy, click the squad button to go to the next shooter. Now, move shooter to this squad and add a shoot through. You probably will not have to worry about this, especially the add a shoot through, because that really should say add a walk-in. If you have a shooter that says I've been moved into squad 1, you can move them in just by clicking that button, finding them, and moving them to squad 1, and then going back, and then you'll see that he's there. if a shooter is doing a shoot through, they're catching up, maybe it's me, because I might have to not get all the shooting done in the staff match, I might have to catch a stage up during the main match, then you go back to this first page and you find all shooters. Let's say it's Tony Biquette. Tony, type in Tony, and then you can score them, just like normal, and then go back to your squad. Alright, so that is scoring. The key to accuracy doing this is a couple things. First off, always make sure your shooter name matches the shooter you've got. Second, always make sure you and the shooter make sure that the paper matches the iPod. We've done this on very large matches, and we've had, in some cases, no mistakes, period, in data entry. In some other cases, with a very large 400-person match, we've had 4 or 5 data entry errors that are caught during the review period. All right, DQ and DNF. Only DNF if you're absolutely sure it can be undone. And DQ, again, with the range master's approval. All these things are confirmed, and if it happens by accident, do not worry, no data is lost, and we can undo it right on the stage. All right, so thank you much. Appreciate you guys giving this a try, and it works really well, and we've done it on lots of big matches, so I expect that to happen again here at Blue Ridge. See you next week.